What's up, guys? In this video we're going to begin the next section of our series with exploring data in R. I thought it would be better to explain these ideas first with a PowerPoint before we get back into RStudio, because the content here is more on the conceptual side. So without further ado, let's go and start talking about data transformation. Visualization is an important tool for insight generation, but it's rare that you'll get the data exactly in the right form that you'll need. Often you'll need to create some new variables or summaries, or maybe you'll just want to rename the variables or reorder the observations to make the data a little easier to work with. In this section of our series, we're going to focus on how to use the dplyr package, which is another core member of the tidyverse. So when you load the tidyverse library, you will also be loading the dplyr package. We'll illustrate these key ideas using the data from the NYC Flights 13 package, which contains data of around the 300,000 flights which departed from New York City in 2013. And we're going to use the ggplot2 library to help us understand the data. What's important to note is the conflicts message that's printed when you load the tidyverse. It tells you that dplyr overwrites some functions in base R. If you want to use the base version of these functions after loading dplyr, we're going to have to use their full names. So we would write in our console or in our script, we'd write stats filter or stats lag, because the filter function and the lag function will be understood, if not specified, to be belonging to the dplyr library. So before we start using dplyr functions, we're going to need to make sure we know the available variable types in R. So let's get with that. The variable types that we're going to be working with are going to be the integer variable type, which contains both positive and negative whole numbers, the double variable type, which contains the real numbers, which are any numbers with a decimal attached to it, both positive and negative, the character variable type, and the date time variable type, which is a variable which has both together the date together with a specific time. There are other variable types available in R. So we have the logical variable type, sometimes referred to as the Boolean variable types, which are variables which only contain true or false values. Factors, which are used to represent categorical variables with fixed possible values. And dates, where we have a date but there's no attached time. We are going to learn the 6 key dplyr functions that allow you to solve the vast majority of data manipulation challenges. We're going to learn to pick observations by their values with the filter function, pick variables by their names with the select functions, create new variables with functions of existing variables with mutate, collapse many values to a single summary with summarize, and these all can be used together with the group by function, which changes the scope of each function from operating on an entire data set to operating on it group by group. These 6 functions provide the verbs for a language of data manipulation. All verbs work similarly. The first argument is a data frame. The subsequent arguments describe what to do with the data frame using variable names. The result is a new data frame. Together, these properties make it easy to chain together multiple simple steps to achieve a complex result we want. So now that we've finished this introduction, let's get back into RStudio and see what these functions do.